Welcome back to the Heart Check podcast. My name is Kanisha Simone, and today I have another guest, y'all. Guest. Look at me with the guests out here. Like I'm out here with guests every week. All right, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? This is my friend, y'all.
Hey everybody, so I'm Nella Vision. Nella, you can call me Nella. Nella is just my last name backwards. A lot of people do not know that, so um, yeah. So I'm guessing you ain't know that
I
either.
didn't know that.
Okay, yeah. So Nella Vision, and then the reason how I came up with Nella Vision is, obviously, like I said, Nella is my nickname, and I do a lot of content, so it's like watching television. So it's Nella Vision, but it's better than television. So
I love that. And I told you you got a talk show host voice.
do I?
You do.
People
Or
always
like
tell
it's
me that.
that or radio.
People always tell me like my voice is so like when I do my voiceovers, because to me they sound goofy. It's like
Yeah.
when you hear yourself talking, it's like I don't like how that sounds. But a lot of people tell me like I love your voice, like I love how it sounds. So maybe I'm gonna be on the big screen one
Maybe
day.
because you have the voice, like I hear it. Remember, and I was like, "Can you sing?" Because it's
Yeah,
just giving you could sing, and
yeah,
you could sing.
yes.
I love that for you. I love how you came up with the name too. So, how long you been cooking and stuff like that? Like, where did you get like the idea to even start baking?
Well, I grew up watching my mom bake. Like my mom's a
Mm,
really good baker. She can cook too, so I guess she's one of those like what do you call them? Unicorns where you
yeah,
can
can
do
do
both.
both.
Because you, like I said, you can't typically cook and bake. But yeah, I grew up watching my mom bake. She tried to make me cook, and I just wasn't interested. I was never interested.
Oh wow.
But just watching her bake, I just remember growing up like I would bake a lot. Like I started out with the box recipes up until recently. I started doing homemade recipes. So I actually haven't been baking homemade that long. But to me, I look at baking as like if you can read, you can bake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but a lot of people is baking is very challenging for them. It's
Like
not
me.
something that comes easy, and it's hard for me to fathom because it's like, why you know how to read? It's literally just you take this, you mix it together, and for some people that's really hard. I guess I could say the flip side of that would be for cooking. A lot of people that cook is probably like it's literally just this, that, and the third. And it's like for me, like I know how to season. I know what flavor tastes good, but I don't know all the intricacies of being able to get in the kitchen and cook. So
Mm. Wow, that's interesting because I can't bake to save my life, and I could read the box, and it just don't be coming. It just don't be coming out right. Like I don't know what it be, but I think there's some type of like love that you put into baking, and it's something in there, a little sauce, secret something, and it makes it come out good. Because I promise you, when I cook and I bake cookies, I burn them. They don't
oh
come out soft
man,
in the middle. I don't know what I be doing.
I don't know. And I think, like you said, it's just something that's in you. Like for me, baking is a passion. Like it's not something that I get tired of doing. Like I said, I'm shooting content
Mm-hmm.
every week,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not something that's like, oh my god, I gotta get up. It's like something I genuinely enjoy. So when I bake, I try to like set the mood. I'll typically post something on my story before I get started. It's like for basketball players, like they have
Yeah.
their headphones on, they got their music going,
Mm-hmm.
whatever their pregame routine is to like get in their zone. That's how I look at baking for me. Is like, okay, let me get my music on because I love music. So let me figure out what playlist I want to hear today. What
Yeah.
am I feeling? And I just kind of have that going in the background while I'm baking, and it's like it fuels me. So like I no matter what the recipe is, even if I've never made it, there's a lot of recipes that I made for the first time and just posted about it. But even if it's my first time, because I feel like I know what I'm doing, like I'm so confident in
I was just
myself.
about to say you're so confident in it.
Yeah,
Like,
when I'm so confident when it comes to baking, so it's like you could throw anything in front of me and I'm gonna figure it out. I just literally learned how to make peach cobbler last year, and I'm like, why was I so afraid of this? Like, why was I
wow.
so afraid to try something new? Because it looked like it was challenging. It's like peach cobbler is really not as
It's really easy to
complicated
make.
as yeah. I mean,
Wow.
to me anyway.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I look at it. It's like because I have that confidence, like I don't feel like there's any recipe that you can put in front of me that I'm like, all right, it's not gonna taste good. Now it may not look good because that's not my lane. Like I'm very like clumsy and I'm not very like neat and tidy when it comes to those kind of things. So that's something that
Mm-hmm.
I obviously have to work on. But when
It'll
it comes
come
to
though.
yeah, I think so too. Because this is like the most consistent I've ever been baking.
Really? With
Yeah.
anything? And you
Yeah.
know what? I feel like that's how you know when that's your gift, right? Because when it's something that's easy for you, like, you know what I mean? You have everything there, everything you need. It's not hard, it's not challenging, it's fun to you. Like, it's a passion. I feel like that's when you know it's your gift. But when it's not, it's like you get tired. You like, not today. You really
Yeah.
don't want to do it. Like, doing this podcast for me is dumb easy. I
Yeah.
love to talk. I could talk all day long. Like, this
Yeah.
is nothing. Like, you know what I mean? But to others, it might be hard. The only thing hard for me is getting started, like I said. But other than that, like, once I get the content and get on that computer, because I recently learned how to edit my own stuff. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
grown up now. So once I learned how to do that, I felt like, okay, this is nothing now. You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe this is what I was supposed to always do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you start to feel like, I think it's like when you get in your 30s, it's like, now I'm figuring out really what I want
Yep.
to do, what I'm supposed to be doing, and like God has put me on that path to do it because everything else I did was not working out.
Yeah. And you're really good at it too.
You think
So
so?
yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, like I'm one of those people who like I'm very good at a lot of things. Like I can do a lot of different things. Like I went to hair school, I went to nursing school. Everything I did, I excelled in, but nothing was like, oh my God, I love it here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
100%.
I think that with nursing school, at that point, it was like, okay, I think God was like, I'm tired of you just jumping and doing what you want to do. I'm gonna grab you out.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what happened. Like he literally ripped me out of my whole situation, isolated me, and now I'm on this.
And that's interesting that you say that because, like I said, this is the most consistent I've been as far as baking.
Yeah.
And I think that God put me in a similar situation, like just being out of work for so long, losing my job back last year in December. I'm, coming up on a year that I've been out of work, which is, it's even hard to imagine because you're so used to just getting up and going to work every day
Mm-hmm.
that, even now, like, it's like I still want God to do certain things, but I have to learn to appreciate the journey because this is something that I was asking for, I was praying for. And like you said, I'm good at a lot of things. I excelled in so many things, but baking is the one constant. It's like no matter what, it
Yeah.
it comes so naturally and so easy for me
Yeah.
that I don't know what God's doing behind the scenes, and I'm just trying to, do my best to trust him and just take it one day at a time. Every day just wake up with a positive attitude and just be grateful because, even though it doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel the best, it's like God still sends those daily reminders that, I got you. And every other situation has worked out, and I'm just, I don't know why. I think it's the carnal in us that just like don't not that we don't trust him, but a form of it is we don't trust him because it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly worrying.
Yeah.
So I think just like realizing and remembering those other situations, it was like, man, this was really tough, and God brought me out of that.
Yeah.
So what makes this situation any different? And I think the hardest thing for me is because I know that patience is something that I have to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very hard process, just being patient because, like I said, it's been almost a year and I haven't been
Wow.
working.
And
So
it's still provided for.
he's still providing, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that I have to hold on to no matter what. Of course we all want increase and we all want to have abundance. That'll come. It's just I have to tell myself every day just to stay the course and stay focused.
Yeah. It's something I learned this week was about like being restored. Like we want all these new things and we want things to happen for
Mm-hmm.
us, but you have to be restored. Like a car, they gotta tear it up, break it apart, and then put it back together, and now you have a new car. You know what I mean? But it's like that process is what everyone's scared of. We stop in that process, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't stop in that process. You have to like, no, okay, my car is gonna be fixed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But with anything else, we wake up in the morning and we know, oh yeah, the coffee machine just gonna work. It's gonna make the coffee. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put the pot in and it's gonna work. But when it comes to God, it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know if you're gonna
Yeah.
do it or not. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's like then you gotta think back, like you said, to all them other times when he was there and he
Mm-hmm.
still did what he said he was gonna do.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It
That
is.
gave me chills when you was talking about it because I'm just like, yo, that is literally what I'm living right now. Like 360. Last year, this time, I was head in the books, going to nursing school, supposed to graduate. Like, I was really like in it. And now I'm doing something I never thought I would do.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I saw a TikTok, and that's how I know. I feel like God reaches you where you need to be reached because a lot of times I'm like, God, I want to hear your voice, and I feel like He uses the things that I love and I like and I'm drawn to. What can I be doing in the meantime? What do I need to better myself at in the process before you bless me? Like, what do I need to be working on so that when you
Yeah.
are ready to bless me, I don't have those old things that are holding me back
And unprepared.
and I'm prepared.
Right,
Yep.
right. Because you do have to ask for that. Like, I know with so many things I need to learn and work on.
Hmm.
I'm praying about that every day,
Yeah.
especially patience. What?
Yeah.
I need to know everything right now. I need the details.
Yes.
I have to know.
It's a control
And it's
thing.
like, relax.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Relax. You're
That's the
not in
hardest part.
control.
That's the
You're
hardest
not.
part is like
Super hard.
not being in control when you're so used to
Hmm.
like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do this because I'm used to just taking
Yeah.
things and doing it myself. Okay, I'm not gonna wait for you to do it. I'm gonna do it myself. And I think that's the
Hmm.
hardest part is just like knowing that God knows all, He sees all, and He got you. That's the hardest
Hmm.
part. Just but you're sitting in, a storm. So it's like, and the story in the Bible where they were all on the boat and the
Hmm.
storm was going on. Jesus was asleep and they was tripping. They like, yo, and he like,
Panicking.
hey, it's
Hmm.
cool, just relax. So it's like you have to remember those times and the times where things weren't good and how he came through. So it's hard, but just got to get up every day and put one foot in front of the other.
That's good. Oh, you a preacher.
No, please don't say that. Please don't say that.
Ooh. So let me ask you, how was your heart today?
Uh, I'm grateful.
Mm.
Um, I just, every day I just try to be grateful because although things aren't the way that I want them to be, they're much better than someone else's situation. I still have my
Hmm.
house. I haven't lost anything,
Yeah.
I still am healthy.
Hmm.
God is still providing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just every day I'm just trying to be grateful, more grateful than I was the day before, and not be complaining because it could be worse. It is worse for some people.
That's right. It really could be worse. You know what's crazy is when I text you to come on the podcast, when I tell you it was so random, I think, I don't know what I was doing. I was downstairs cleaning up, doing something. TJ upstairs in the game. And I came upstairs and I said, TJ, I said, I don't know why, but I just got this thought. I said, you think that Brittany would want to come on the podcast? And he was like, I don't know. Where'd you get that from? And I was like, I don't know. Something is telling me, like, I felt compelled to text you. Like,
Hmm.
all jokes aside, like, I really felt compelled to text you and tell you to come on the podcast and talk about yourself or whatever you got going on. And whatever that is. Like, I was compelled to do it. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and text her. And I text you.
Uh,
At that moment, it wasn't planned. It's not like I was watching your videos or nothing. It just happened like that.
Well, I'm grateful you did because I don't know what can come of this, what will come of this for either one of us. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
we never
saying?
know.
Like, so it was obviously God. Like, God
Definitely.
ordains everything. The older you get, or the older I get, I'll speak for myself. I just don't believe in coincidences anymore because I just feel like God is like literally orchestrating everything behind the
Hmm.
scenes.
I feel like nothing happens by mistake now.
No, I don't think so either. And like I was telling you, like one of the things I've been praying for, constantly is, like God, show me a sign because people are always like, "Oh, I heard God," and it's like, how do you hear God? I grew up in church,
Like he
I've been in
talking to
church
you
all
like
my
audible.
yeah,
That what
like
you mean?
people
Yeah.
say like they've heard God, and it's like now I know it's not just necessarily hearing God; it's like a still voice. And I went to the Beyonce concert back in Houston a couple months ago, a few months ago. Wow, so that was September. Um, and all the while, I knew I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to Houston. I don't know how I'm gonna get in the concert, but I know that I'm gonna try this TikTok hack that I seen, and I'm gonna be at the concert. Like that's all I kept saying. Even leading up to the day, like one of my classmates was like, "So what's your plan B? Like if it doesn't work?" And I was like, "There is no plan B. Plan B means that I don't believe that plan A
I
is
know
gonna
that's
work."
right.
So even doing all of that, like I was walking in faith, and when we got there, and everything like came crashing down and it looked like okay we're not getting in here. I've
Hmm.
wasted my time coming to Houston,
Oof.
not necessarily wasted my time, but I planned this. I've been planning this for months just to get here and not make it, and for God to literally at the last minute just like hey, we got blessed with free floor tickets. Like we were on the floor for free,
Wow.
completely free.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was like even that situation, like after I came down from the high of it all, like I really had to take a moment and reflect, like God really be doing his big one. He
He
really
really do.
sends messages like, I know you've been asking and I know you've been praying and I know that you haven't seen it yet, But let me just show you, just like, it's the littlest things that I could take. Like, God was
Mhm.
really orchestrating this the whole time. Even when I
Yeah.
had lost faith in the moment, it's like,
Yeah.
like,
Ooh,
what's gonna
I would have been
happen?
crying.
Man, like, I couldn't. I'm typically very, like, I would consider myself like not overly emotional, but I feel like I'm an emotional person, and when it was happening, it was just so, like, unbelievable. Like, I
Mhm.
really, this was my first time seeing Beyonce in concert, and
Mhm.
I saw her completely for free on the
Wow.
floor.
Wow.
Like, I was really just like taking it all in. So I don't think I had a time, like a moment to even like stop
Process
and
it all.
cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because it was like, wow, like, God really made this happen. And even when I was saying it, and even if I didn't, 100% believe it, like, I was saying it, like, no, we're getting in the concert. There's no plan B. This is what it is. And as
Mhm.
soon as we got in, he was one of the first people I hit up, like, look where we at. And he
Wow.
was just like, wow, like, that's like, I love that for you, So
Wow.
it's just those little moments that I look at, and I'm grateful that God still sends reminders, even if it's through something like this. And I think I even posted about it, and somebody kind of laughed, like, like, God can do whatever he wants to do, and he can use
Exactly. It's
any
nothing too
situation.
small.
Yeah, he can use
Nothing too
any
big.
situation to show you, like, I'm still God, even though that's Beyonce and people have her feelings about her. At the end of the day, God is still God, and he used that
Mhm.
situation to show me, like, I got you, and I always got you.
Yeah. I don't think it matters who it is. God can send a message through a person that's a atheist. Don't
Yeah,
believe in him. He could send a message through a person that don't even like you.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. It's gonna come through. You know what I mean? Like no matter what. So sometimes I'm trying to be easy on when it comes to like social media and music and stuff because a lot of things I used to watch before and listen to before I don't listen to.
mhm,
But at the same time, it's like the message still is there.
mhm,
Even if he wants, it could be a person that's a false prophet, right? He still could send that message because at the end of the day, it's for his glory, not theirs.
right.
You know what I mean? So it just, you just never know.
No, you don't.
And we sitting around trying to figure it out, and we can't figure it out because he's not like men.
Right.
It's wild when
It
you think
is.
about it. Like, whoo-wee.
Yep.
I be sitting around sometimes like, dang, I just be grateful for everything because it's like
Mhm.
I could, like, I grew up in a hood in New York, like smaller city. I would have never thought, like where I'm at right now, I would have never thought. Like my family be like, oh, she bougie, she moved, she this, she that. Like they would have never thought either where I'm at now. So I'm just grateful for that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Even kids and stuff like that, like just everything. Who
And
we?
that's where it starts. I think that's,
Yeah.
how God is able to bless you, if you can just be grateful, grateful for the little. And then it's
Mm-hmm.
also like, I want all these things to happen with, with my business, as it relates to baking and all the things that I want. And it's like, you have to be faithful with the little before I can bless you with the much. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Then you can handle it.
and I think, I'm working towards that. This is, like I said, this is the most consistent I've been for a year. I've just been, you know, keeping the same thing. I'm gonna post 3 times a week. I'm gonna shoot my content every week,
Mm-hmm.
and just try to keep it consistent and show, like, this is something that I truly want,
And it grows. I think that the obedience is key too. Cause like, what if I had? I'm thinking now, like, if I had that thought in my mind to text you and I didn't,
Mhm.
and then I never did it, it's like now I'm pushing myself back because I don't want to be obedient. It costs nothing for me to send somebody a text. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like you got to be obedient to him too. When he tell you to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been my biggest heart change this year is being obedient and just doing whatever he tells me to do. Like I really didn't want to start a podcast. I
No.
did not. No, because I've always listened to podcasts and stuff like that, but I felt like it wasn't my thing. I was like, this ain't my thing. I'm not doing that. And then he kept putting it in my dreams. So I'm not doing that. Who are you talking about?
And
Then he
look at you
started,
now.
yeah, showing me visions and everything. And I'm like, God, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do this little razzle dazzle and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then like the outcome of it and what people get from it be crazy. Like the
Yeah.
messages I get and how it touch other people's hearts and things like that. Like
Yeah.
I would never imagine. I just be sitting back like little old me. Like I just feel like I'm just so regular. Like you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like
I
I'm just
feel you.
regular, regular. So I don't understand how like my story or somebody else's story or something touch other people, but that's what it's about.
Yeah. And you never know, like,
Yeah.
we're looking at it from our lens, because I just look at it like, oh, I'm just a regular person. And then people are, they
Yeah.
love certain stuff. When they see me in person, it's like, oh my gosh, I love your videos. I love your,
Yeah.
and it's like, little me, like, I know I'm very confident in myself, but it's also like,
Like
I
I'm
don't
making an
really,
impact.
yeah,
Me.
it's kind of hard to believe. So I'm just grateful that I'm a part of, your beginning phase, because I
Yeah.
love your podcast. Like,
Thank you.
yeah,
That makes
it's
me
so
so.
genuine. Like, because
Yeah.
in a world where everyone's so disingenuous, it's
Yeah.
it's hard. So it's like watching your podcast is like you can tell that you genuinely care. Like you always ask people, how's your heart today?
Yeah.
And you genuinely care. And I think that's what people are gravitating towards, for your podcast because it is genuine. It feels like you really care. You're not just doing this for a check or you're doing this to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
popular. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what sets you apart from, other people that are just doing podcasts because y'all just getting up behind a microphone talking about whatever, you
Yeah, and
know?
just doing it for like social media or whatever. Like if
Mm-hmm.
something doesn't go viral, I don't care, but somebody gonna see it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And somebody always sees something, and it always relates to them in whatever way or whatever season they in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the good thing about it because sometimes you need to see that. You need to see regular people having conversations about regular life stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't do that no more. Everything's so fake. Everybody
Yeah.
want to put something on top of it and sell it to you. It's like lately that's what I've been gravitating towards too, like with my friends, my family, like everybody that's just living life in a way that's just not, I know you behind the scenes. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
attracted to that no more.
Right.
It's like for what? Let people see it. Like what happened to like them Cinderella stories, like I came from this and now I'm here and it's so
Yeah.
inspiring and then you want to be like that person or you want to inspire to do the things that they do. You don't see that no more.
No, I think it's because social media is kind of, tainted reality. Like you said, like that was just crazy what you said about you don't care about going viral. And that's something that I'm like, I don't care if this video, and that's something I'm working on. Is like, I don't care if this video only get 10 likes or 5 likes
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, the fact of the matter is, I know my stuff is good. I know it's just a matter of time. We always have to start somewhere. And I think social media has given us this false reality that everything's supposed to go viral.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know if you've noticed, but like now they have features on these social media apps where you can hide the amount of likes that you get. And it's
Mhm.
like, that almost in a sense is like, okay, I care about what people think as far as how well my video is doing, because if you can't see how many likes I have, then you're more likely to maybe
Yeah.
look at it and like it. Whereas let me just be transparent and say, hey, this video flopped, or maybe it didn't flop, it didn't do as well as I thought,
Yeah.
but maybe somebody got something out of it, and it'll reveal itself down the line.
Yeah, there's a trend too that's going on where people are like circling their amount of followers like a little bit, and then once it gets bigger, they post that and say they just kept going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To keep people to just keep going because you need to see that sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, and you know what's crazy? The first time me and TJ ever went on TikTok, our first video went viral. We ever did, and it was the most randomest video ever. It was like a challenge where like the parent act like they son and our son was like real lazy back then or whatever and he just was really annoying, so he basically dressed up like Dejan and we made the video. It went viral. Thing is, I didn't have no followers, no friends, no nothing, so that just goes to show that like people work so hard to go viral per
Mm-hmm.
se, but the most randomest stuff, it doesn't matter what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. It just might be a well-liked video.
Yeah. That's true.
You know what I mean? It might be unedited. We didn't edit. We know what we was doing.
Yeah, those are usually the ones that go viral.
Those
The
are the
ones you're not even thinking
ones.
about. Like, let me just put this up here, and then you come back, and it's like, holy smokes, okay.
You spend all that money on cameras and stuff like that, and it
Mm-hmm.
don't even like really shake nothing. Like I think one of his most viral videos is a behind the scene,
Okay.
behind the scene off the phone.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter. So we all like everybody just trying to climb this mountaintop to go viral for
Mm-hmm.
what? Like you skipping all the steps before. Doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense. So yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
All right, let me get to see. This always happens. I never get to my questions. Dang. All right. So, who would you say inspires you the most?
Like currently where I am right now in life.
Yes. Like where you at right now? I would say.
Uh, this is probably bad that I'm not gonna say like a family member or anything, but
They'd be all right.
oh my gosh. Because I'm just thinking about where I am right now in life and what I want out of life. I would have to say Keith Lee. He inspires me.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Keith
because
Lee.
because he's so like, and he's a Libra too, by the way.
He
Libras are the
is.
best. So, um, I think I'm inspired by him because he's his authentic self. Like
Yes.
he don't do all the editing to his videos. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of bells and whistles. He's
Yeah.
just himself, and he's on camera. And I've been following his journey since before he blew up with the pregnancy cravings from his wife. I used to follow him when he used to cook for his family all the time.
Mhm.
So I think, that inspires me, just seeing like where he went, and he had, where he was, and to now where he is. And it's not like something that he was like, all right, this is what I want to do. I want to be a food critic and I want to go
Right.
around. And it's just like
It was
watching,
organic.
yeah, it was organic, and just um, watching God like take him from where he is now, or where he was, to where he is now. And he continues to like, hey, God is amazing. That's his one constant thing, is like, God is amazing no matter what's
What?
going on. God
Mhm.
is amazing. So
Yeah.
um I think that is very inspirational, just seeing his journey. And I'm just like, I want to be the Keith Lee of baking. Obviously, I don't want to be like him. I
No, but
just
I
want to
get it.
have a similar, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to positively affect the world, and also, share my love for God, without
Mhm.
having to shove it down your throat. It's like, wow, like,
Exactly.
God is really like working in that person's life.
Yeah, like I feel like God definitely has his hand on Keith Lee,
For
and
sure.
he's definitely using him to show evidence. Like he is evidence that a person that you've never met a day in your life could come and change your world
Like that.
like that. But he also is giving all of his glory to
Back to
God.
God. Yep.
He's telling them this isn't me, this is God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the evidence that people need to see. Even people who are like unbelievers or who don't believe. It's like a person like that can go from just regular cooking, sitting at his kids' Paw Patrol little
Mm-hmm.
table and blowing up like that. And I think he said it's only been like 10 months
Yeah, he's coming up
since
on a
he's been doing
year.
like the food critic
Yeah.
stuff. It's been like a year maybe. Like it hasn't been that
And it was
long.
one video that changed the complete trajectory. Like, he already had millions of followers, but
Mhm.
it was I believe it was the Frankenstein's, or whatever, Frankenstein's, or whatever the place in Vegas is with the pizza and the wings. That
Mm.
one video changed the entire trajectory of his
Yeah.
life. So it was literally one video that changed his life.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know that.
yeah, once he did that video, he had like, I want to say he got like 12 million views like overnight. He was on the news literally the next day. Like, these people were literally on the brink of having to close their business, to now, they're thriving. I don't know if they're still thriving, but nonetheless, that one video changed his entire world.
Yep. It changed him and then it changed theirs too.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Keith Lee is the man.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, and when they did that stuff, I'm a Keith Lee stan. So when they was talking about him in Atlanta, I was like, y'all need to relax. Okay?
Yeah.
Just because y'all don't have the good customer service, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just do better. It's not
Yeah.
always a attack at you. Sometimes it's just like, hey, step back. I got to do better.
Yeah, and was an attack. He told his experience. He spoke
Yeah.
on his experience, and he even told people like, hey, y'all go check it out for yourself. Just because that's the experience I had doesn't mean that'll be the one that you had. And I don't think all of us are that mature, and maybe that's something that God's working on me right now. Is like, because me, I would have been like, yeah, I had a bad experience. I don't go here, y'all. Because when I have a bad experience at a
Hmm.
place, I'm telling people, don't go.
He is very mature because at the end of the videos, he'll say, like, don't go bashing their page.
Yeah.
Don't go on Yelp doing this and that. Because, like, me, I'd have been like, it was real ghetto. The food was not good.
Yep.
And don't come here.
Don't come.
But he has that, yeah, like you said, he's mature enough to know to say certain things. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. The whole story is just like, it's literally evidence.
It's inspiring. So
It's
it's like,
very
that's what I
inspiring.
aspire to, have one day. However God blesses me, it's just like, I hang on to this, like, if you could bless Keith like that, then certainly you can bless, anybody, me, my
Yeah.
friends, anybody.
Whoever you want to bless.
Yeah, so I hold on to that, because it's like, he didn't see that happening. Like I said, it was one video
Right.
that changed his life, and you never know what video is gonna be. So
Yeah.
every recipe I make, I try to just,
You got to do it with love.
put my best into it, do it with
Hmm.
love, and do it unto the glory of God, because it's like, ultimately, this is gonna point back to Him. Like, I was only able to do this because of God's grace, God's mercy. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Yeah, at one point, with the podcast, I had to start putting like in my bio and stuff like, "This is God led." I need y'all to understand, like, this ain't me. Like, this is Him.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to get that misconstrued. I don't want nobody to think like something different. Like, and I'm not saying I'm here to preach because that's not my gift. That's not my calling.
It's not my
But
calling.
that's not me. But I'm just gonna let y'all know in case you didn't know. You know what I mean? this is led by him. So if that's not your vibe, this might not be for you. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure I captured that audience. But definitely with Keith Lee, I feel like his heart is in it. A
Mm-hmm.
person that inspires me the most right now is Tabitha Brown.
I love her.
Like, oh, anyways, I love Tabitha Brown. Like she
Mm-hmm.
just warms my heart. But it's the effect that she has on people is what like gravitates me towards her, you know. And in her story, it's just everything that leads up to it is just like if I could walk in anybody's shoes, it would be her for a day. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't really know much about her story because I haven't really
Really?
followed her like that. But I do like I love how warm and cuddly she makes you feel. I've never met her a day
Yeah,
in my
she definitely
life,
gives
but
auntie.
yeah, she definitely gives
What?
Auntie that you can come
Yeah,
cry on her shoulder and everything's gonna be okay after I go, just talk to you for a
she
little
gives
bit.
auntie Tab. Oh, and listen, Tabitha Brown, if you see this, I DM'd you, girl. Listen, one day I was like, no, for real. Let me tell you. One day I was sitting in my bed and I told my husband, I said, look, I'm about to DM Tabitha Brown. And he was like,
You should.
okay. And I said, I'm gonna DM her whether she see it or not, because one day when I meet her and we sitting down, keep keying, and our kids is in the back and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm be like, girl, let me show you this DM that I sent you,
Mm-hmm.
whatever time ago. Cause I just know what's gonna happen. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm gonna meet her and we gonna vibe and our family's gonna be connected and it is what it is. Like that's just me.
I love that for you.
But the reason why I love her so much is because like of her journey. Like, you know what I mean? The way she grew up like in the South or whatever, but she was really sick and she had a headache that lasts like a whole year. And it wouldn't go away. Like she was in the bed, she couldn't walk very well. All kind of stuff was going on with her. And long story short, one day she was in the mirror. She basically was like, "Listen, God, if you heal me, you can have me." Like she broke down. She was like, "If you heal me, you can have me because I don't know what's wrong with me." No, the doctors wouldn't tell her what was wrong with her. No, nothing. Like she couldn't figure it out. She was trying everything. And after she did that, she tried a vegan diet with her daughter. It was like a challenge or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she said after like 10 days, she started feeling better.
Mm.
And then she was like, after that, she was like, "Oh yeah, God, you got it." Because she actually asked them that, and it
Yeah.
worked, and it happened, and he made it happen. You know what I mean? So she's been vegan ever since. And once she became vegan, she started making videos. God told her to make videos of the foods that she was eating because she was new to it. She
Yeah.
started making videos, and it just started blowing up.
That's crazy you say that though, because I saw her on Uncle Shay Shay's podcast and
Oh
she was
yeah,
saying how she doesn't really do like the vegan desserts. And I was like, man, God, if you can connect me once you tab, because I know how to make vegan desserts
that
too.
would be amazing.
So, you
Somebody
know,
tell somebody.
somebody, tell Auntie Tab, what's
Hey.
up? Hey, Auntie Tab, I know you're gonna see this. So,
And it was good because she had a word for him too. Remember?
yeah, it was a really good interview.
Every time she goes on an interview, it seems as if God put some type of nugget in her mind to tell the people.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
100%.
give me the nugget. I
Yeah,
want the
I'll take
nugget,
the nugget. I
ma'am.
like nuggets.
Okay, I like them. Come tell me. But it was just inspiring because she basically had to be obedient to everything he told her to do. He said, start making videos. He showed her herself on TV. Like, I don't know all the details. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but he showed her herself on TV, on like a small little box TV, and told her, like, start making videos.
Yeah, God, I
And look at
mean,
where it's at. Like, what? And she always say, God is love. Keith Lee said, God is amazing.
yeah, well, God, I don't know what you got for the baking, but hey,
Hey, bring it on.
bring it on. But
Okay.
and that's probably something he's working on me because one of my good friends told me that I have to work on like unhardening my heart because I'm the type of person like I feel like I'm so genuine and I give of myself genuinely and I'm very loyal. So when someone crosses me, it's like that's it. Like
Mm.
so, I'm trying to work on not hardening my heart. Even just certain relatives. Just I'm just trying to work on not hardening my heart, and that's probably the lesson I'm supposed to be learning right now. Is
Yeah.
because when God puts me in front of all these different people, I gotta not be able to so quick to react
Yeah.
and get an attitude or get in my feelings or that
Yeah.
could be the lesson that I'm learning because I do feel like that's something that I do. And eventually you have to just grow up and grow out of that. So
Yeah. And it might be a part of your journey because you might be surrounded by so many people that you can't do that anymore,
yeah,
you know? My new thing is I just say with love. Like, even when I want to say something mean, I'll switch it up, write something different, or say something different, and be like with love, because that's how I'm trying to like train my mind to not be so like.
I
Because
like that.
I have this thing about me where I can be nasty. Like
Yeah.
I got like a dark part to me where it's like, ooh wee from the ghetto, and I try not to go there anymore because it's like I have to love people like. Jesus loved people at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. Like, and that's how I want to be. I want to love everybody, even if you've hurt me, even if you've been mean to me, whatever. Like, I still want to love people the way that I should love them. And I can let you go and still love you.
Yeah.
I cannot talk to you and still love you. You know what I mean? And be like, you know what? I do care where you end up. But for me and you,
We good.
we good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
We
I'm all
good.
set.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Hey, I'm all set on you with love, though.
With
With
love. I love
love.
that.
Yeah, so that's something that I've been working on too because I feel like, first of all, I just got saved not too long ago. Okay. So my heart was hard. And I feel like God had to really work on me from little girl me. Oh, that's a question I have for you. So that's the question I have for you. That's a good one. So if you were to meet your younger self, what would you say to yourself? Like if you had a little conversation real quick.
mm, what would I say to my younger self? Um, that's deep. Like,
I'm sorry.
no, you good. I
Sometimes
just
I go from funny laughing to deep. I don't know why I'm
no.
like
It just
that.
it challenges you to think. Like I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
What would I tell my younger self? Like, um,
Let me give you a second.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of. My memory is so so jacked. So I'm just trying to think of like, what is something that I could like say to my younger self? Like, I guess I would. If I was telling my younger self anything, I would say, you know, continue to work hard and remember all the things that were instilled in you as a young child because I feel like I grew up very privileged.
Mm.
I grew up different from a lot of how we grew up. A lot of African Americans, you know, my grandparents were well off and a lot of things were kind of just handed to me in life. Now, granted, I had to work for things too, but a lot of things were given to me because of the resources that I had.
Mm. You're very humble. I
So
would never had like
oh, really? Well, that's
yeah.
good. That's good. Yeah.